You said no! Steve glanced at me as we trotted through the alley.
Actually, my exact words were I couldn't help you. It's a semantics thing.
I struggled to wrap my brain around the reality of his presence. And yet, here you are. He shrugged.
I am here.
What made you change your mind?
Honestly, Quinn.
Okay, I hadn't expected that. How so? Steve paused, sniffed the air, then continued down the alley.
To quote you, it's suicide to do this mission alone. When you inevitably get yourself killed, I'd have to deal with her.
You're saying your family is less painful to deal with than my girlfriend?
Less deadly is more like it.
I couldn't help but grin.
Point is,
he continued,
we both knew I was going to change my mind.
We did not.
I bet you did in here.
He pointed to his chest.
By the way,
he added, before I could respond,
you were pretty hard to track down. Your mother must have taught you some of her huntress moves, because I arrived just in time to see you get to second base with that dude.
I was very glad it was dark, because I have no doubt my face turned crimson.
Was he packing a cannon or a BB gun?
Steve asked.
I tried not to notice.
Steve chuckled. Then he grew oddly serious.
Listen, I realize I was being a tool earlier, but I wasn't lying. I doubt I can help you with my clan. It's a long story, but suffice to say, I'm not the best choice for gaining favor with the Minotaurs. However, I might be able to put you in contact with the folks who will be helpful. Maybe even keep you from becoming a chew toy.
He paused.
And for what it's worth, I'm sorry.
I shook my head. I should be the one to apologize. I'll admit I was angry at first, but that was me being selfish and afraid.
Well, obviously I'm in.
Thanks. He nodded. So, why the centaurs? I asked, forcing us back to the mission we were both on now.
Next to the Minotaurs, they're the most influential among the paranormals. Other clans tend to follow their lead, so if we can get their support to vote against secession, then it might suck the wind out of the sails of the Minotaurs.
Might?
Even with the Centaurs' vote against secession, the Minotaurs could go ahead with their plans. But it's still worth the effort to talk with the Centaurs, assuming they don't kill us the moment we step foot on their turf.
I swallowed the fear that was beginning to gurgle in my belly. I'd never dealt directly with centaurs, but rumor had it they were skittish isolationists. The underground hosted a large population of them, but those tended to be the younger calves who were sick of the traditions of their people. The majority, however, still lived in the boonies and fiercely protected their land and their way of life. Convincing them that their best option to avoid a war was to join sides with the very people who drove them into isolation wasn't going to be an easy task. But first, we had to get there. My sense of caution on high alert, thanks to the fight, I rested my fingers on the pistol grip of my Glock, just in case. Steve, on the other hand, moseyed down the alleys as if he were walking through a field of tulips.
I love this city,
he sighed, gazing at the run-down facade of an old strip joint. I frowned as something scurried behind a trash can. Seriously?
Dead serious. I mean, look.
He waved his massive hands at the surrounding buildings.
We're a stone's throw away from museums, art galleries, and the seat of government. There's fine dining, music, and countless small communities of neighbors who socialize on their front stoops rather than through technology. What's not to like? The traffic, noise, and murder rate? Bah! Every city suffers from that. Besides,
he added as he approached a small loading dock,
compared to where we're heading, this is a pretty safe place to live.
He reached down and lifted the large metal door.